review, there was originally a scheduled outbound trajectory correction burn. This was the second planned correction burn that ended up being canceled as it was determined that it was no longer needed. Tomorrow on Flight J5, there is another opportunity for an outbound trajectory correction burn should it be needed. And then coming up later in this shift, there will also be a Canadian Space Agency Public Affairs event before the crew begins to wind down for the day and go into their pre-sleep period where they will complete hygiene activities as well as eat their dinner.